Armored Bear Productions. Welcome to Not Safe for Wizards, an actual play 5th edition D&D podcast. Hi, you're listening to a prologue episode of Not Safe for Wizards. I'll be talking with Gregg Lockwood. He plays Lillith Bricksmasher, the cleric of Lemagir. Let's get started. Thanks for sitting down, Gregg.
Thank you, sir.
So, what was Lillith doing before she decided to become an adventurer?
Well, Lilith was brought up in a small village, and her parents were followers of Edar that took the edict very serious, very literal with the be fruitful and multiply, to the point they couldn't provide for all their children, so they sold her to a dwarven merchant who was selling wares, who didn't treat her badly and raised her as one of his own children until she hit the age of 18 and set off on a path to destroy Edar.
Wow, destroy Edar. So what was it that made Lilith, though, become an adventurer?
Well, she felt that when she got became a cleric of Lemagir, that she needed more real worldly experience. So she set off with a fellow brother to become opportunistic sailors.
Is that another phrase for pirate?
Yes.
Okay.
Pirates. And that didn't end well for another more powerful pirate captain with a more powerful necromancer set the undead onto their ship, and she barely escaped. And her fellow brother Christopher, was sacrificed himself to save her. Okay.
So Lilith being a devotee of Lemagir, the god of death and undeath, how does that? What's that make Lilith's core values at?
She doesn't. She really she wants to be a good person, and she tries. She's a fighter for the underdog, and she just uses her clerical abilities to help who she feels needs help.
So, I guess so. We've talked about she's specifically devoted to Lemagir. She was raised, obviously, in an Adar worshipping family. So
only until she was 5, and then she was sold because she had 13 other brothers and sisters.
Okay. So what is her belief then about the other deities?
She doesn't know a whole lot about the other deities. She kind of was sheltered in the dwarven stronghold, living in the mountains with the dwarves. So there was the dwarven deities. And then she went with her adopted father, to sell stuff, and fell into the temple of Lemagir and liked what they were selling.
So does Lilith have a long-term plan?
Not so much as, where her next meal is coming, and she likes the company she keeps. She's very particular. She wants to, just make her fortune, destroy Edar.
Is there a line that Lilith isn't willing to cross?
Depends on the circumstances. There's always a circumstance for something.
So she's able to justify anything that she may need to do?
She could justify anything she has to do. Won't kill women and children unless she has to kill women and children. Probably not children, though.
Seems fair. So amongst her adventuring comrades, does she have ones that she feels closest to, friendliest with?
Probably Jade is the one she's closest to. She feels protective over Jade because Jade comes from a similar background, though Jade's parents were murdered. Lilith's parents gave her up, which kind of made it feel like they died to her.
And then the flip side of that, are there any characters in the group that Lilith either doesn't like or...
Wouldn't say that she doesn't like. She's a little scared of Thorn for obvious reasons, being a cleric. And she finds Orion interesting, as she wants to show him the errors of his ways with his radical devotion to the terrible god Idar. One day she will change him.
This is going to be interesting for sure, because I could just imagine this showdown coming.
It's going to be a showdown. It's slowly.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing. One day Idar will fail him, and Lilith will be there to point out the fact that Idar failed him.
Nice. So, you have been a player. You've been playing D&D for a while. So and tabletop role playing games. Where did you start? When did you start?
When I was in 7th grade, I started playing, I think it was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So like 32 years ago. And I pretty much stuck with Dungeons and Dragons till just recently. I started to play Star Wars X-Wing with my son and my coworker. But Dungeons and Dragons has always been my go-to love. Always. I played a little bit of BattleTech once, but never stuck like D&D stuck.
So what do you think about D&D that is what sticks?
I just like the fantasy. I like being somebody else. That's why majority of the time I play, a different race. It's the first time I've really played a human in a game. And I always play a lady, because why play something you are in real life when you can be something else?
Sounds like a real good policy there. You mentioned you are playing X-Wing with your son. What as a parent, what's your feeling about introducing the game to children?
Oh, I love it. It's, imagination is everything to a kid. If you can teach your kids to imagine, there's nothing they can't do. Because if you don't have imagination, you'll never think of the next great thing to help to invent or anything.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And kids do have, some pretty broad imaginations.
And they will come up with, if you don't foster their imagination, they will, I think kids wither without.
I definitely agree with you. So you're playing a cleric dedicated to a death god, undeath god. What do you think are going to be the challenges coming down the road?
Well, my gung-ho life companion, Orion, things will happen that will probably upset him. But the other people, it seems we have a campaign of well-balanced people, because no one is a true, aside from Orion, is a true goody-goody. I feel in other circumstances, in the broader city life, there could be problems being, racist or can't think of the word, but towards the religion.
Yeah, no, I that's one of the things.
Interaction with other villagers.
Yeah, no, I definitely could see. I think one of the things I've tried to present is like everyone kind of is a polytheist for the most part, polytheists in the campaign world. So they're, they look towards all the gods, and every god has their value, even gods that may be, like the Vixis, the god of treachery, or Lemgir, it's but death is part of the natural cycle.
Yes.
So it's not like there's any worship that's really outlawed. But I would definitely think you would get, Lilith would get the a little bit of the stink eye from some villagers.
Well, a lot of people, because like you said, I'm trying to corrupt the natural order.
Yeah, well, that's where the undeath thing is, and that's where I could maybe see some troubles along the way.
Oh, we want to resurrect people while they're on their funeral pyre so they can be punished twice.
Nice. I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover. I know folks will be definitely entertained by Lilith. You definitely have a hook with ghost pirates.
Yes, I do like my ghost pirates.
So I think folks can look forward to that. But no, I really appreciate you taking time to sit down with me today. I am Joseph Hawk. I am the DM. Thank you for listening. Hey, I just want to thank you for listening to this prologue episode. If you'd like to help support the podcast, right now the best way for you to do that is to leave us a review on iTunes. Even if you don't use iTunes, it's the best way to help make sure that we're appearing in the algorithm so more people can find us. In the show notes, we'll have where you can find the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Hi, thanks for listening to that episode of Not Safe for Wizards here on YouTube. If you would give us a thumbs up for a like, hit that subscribe button, and of course hit the notifications bell. That way you'll always know when Not Safe for Wizards is putting up a new episode. Thanks.